Bro, don't you even know how much we love the ball once like you? We heard it all before, it's not new to us anymore. Bro, don't you even know half the things the ball makes claims to? And there's a lot for us to get through. For you, anyway. Bro, can't you even see? You've broken it down oh so clearly. It's a joke, it always has been. For those to see, anyway. Tripping, he's falling, he's tripping, he's balling. They blow by, he's all in. They glow burst, they don't win. Be honest, that works best. Any evidence of the curved earth crest? Any evidence that it's not at rest? Any vacuum next to oppress your test? There's no precedence, no evidence. That's the globe defense. Don't take offense, just don't be this dense. It's your preference with some common sense. You can sit on the fence. For a glober, it's tragic. He believes it like it's magic.
You know the hole in a donut? That's space-time.
You're a moron.
No, that's true.
You're
The
a moron.
hole
Shut up.
in a donut
Shut up. Don't
is
say anything
space-time.
else. Don't make me remove you. Shut up. You've got nothing more to add. You're a
Hole
moron.
in the donut,
I couldn't
Brenda.
care less.
Wow.
You're a moron. Don't
The
say
hole
anything
in
more.
the hole in a donut.
Shut
The
up.
hole
I don't
in
want to
Swiss
have to
cheese.
eject you.
Space
If
time.
you want to continue spouting shite about holes in donuts, I'm going to kick you out. Last chance. Shut up.
Bro, don't you even know how much we love the ball once like
Check.
you? We heard it all before, it's not new to us anymore.
Okay, that was Drace. He's 24/7 Flat Earth Discord member. Amazing music. I'm going to be sharing more of that stuff coming up. But for now, let's start with our videos today. TikTok videos that I found that were interesting. I want to share them. Let me know what you think. There's a lot of these videos that I watch and they blow my mind, and I have to sift through them because I do download a lot of crappy ones sometimes. But this one, there's some that just stand out, and I just go, oh, I can't be the only one that watches this, because I know that there's a lot of people that don't like watching TikTok, and I totally understand it. So I would like to compile them for you. Let me know what you think. Let's start with this one.
It's always just one single dot moving along a path, but as the frequency of the sound or the note you're hearing gets higher and higher, that dot starts to move so fast that it just blends together and looks like solid lines.
So as you can see, if just by using a dot and moving it, if you move it fast enough, the frequency will be so quick that your eye will kind of create an object. And then if you vibrate that further, you can actually create a three-dimensional object. This reminds me of how our reality is empty, and they say that solid things are mostly empty. This shows how a point in empty space can actually create a three-dimensional object just by pulsating in vibration. So that one blew my mind. Let me know what you think. Let's move on to the next one. I don't want to talk too much. Let's go.
What's one habit or action that you started doing that completely changed your life? I'll go first. So tell me if you've ever been there. You know, you wake up late because you stayed up late, and you wake up with regret because you aren't doing the things that you know you're supposed to be doing, but you stayed up late because you were watching the same season of the same show you've seen 20 times, only to wake up on Groundhog's Day on repeat and do it again. Somebody asks you, how was your day? Or, you know, how you doing today? And you go, yeah, I'm all right. And you suddenly realize this deep-hitting feeling that you are just existing. That was the moment that I realized how important self-respect was, and doing what I say I'm going to do and following my word to myself was then the most important habit that I could ever cultivate, because through that you make self-esteem, and once you start to understand that you're unstoppable and you're powerful, that's when things start to change.
Great example of really great content of people just on TikTok sharing their mindset. This guy's on point. A lot of people probably feel that way, right? Just going along thinking that everything is fine, there's nothing wrong. At some point, you need to step back and be consistent, follow through with what you're supposed to be doing. And yeah, I really dig the way that this guy shared that information.
Isn't it just convenient, as now this worldwide global quote-unquote catastrophe is going on, now we're all of a sudden starting to release information on UFOs. We have a sixth branch of the United States Army called the Space Force, where the people are called Guardians. You see, ultimately it's just a complete mockery. When Mike Pence came out and said they would be called Guardians, there was even a little smirk on his face because he knew how ridiculous it was. You see, what they're doing is they're playing a show right before your eyes. Everything they've pre-programmed you to believe through Hollywood is going to actually become real, because that's how witchcraft works in the big leagues. They have to show you the truth before it happens so that you curse yourself through the content. Now that's why all this alien information is coming out, because they're going to fake an alien deception to unite all world governments, religions, and eventually establish a one world currency under the one world leader who's the Antichrist. So wake up, this is the final hour, get right with Jesus while you can. God bless.
Yeah, this guy's on point too. He does get a little bit doom and gloomy, but here's the thing. It's great to be sharing what you think. He's correct in the sense that there's a lot of pre-programming. Disney, all of this stuff, they can't be doing all of that for nothing. They have to have an end goal. I'm actually kind of excited to see what they do, because I know I don't know, I feel like it's coming and it's kind of inevitable. So I can't really talk about it with anyone really. In my real life, so that's why I like to go to 24/7 Discord. At least they're willing to entertain things like this. All right, let's go on to the next one.
Most of the world are followers. They believe that success lies in having a bunch of friends, and they think that being alone instantly correlates with sadness and depression. But the truth is, most people cannot handle being alone. I have a question for you. If you spend an abundance of time alone, just in your room doing nothing, and you feel uncomfortable, doesn't that mean you're in bad company? This is the problem with so many people. Their brains look like this. They have a trillion voices in their head from their teachers, parents, friends, social media, that they don't even know which one is their own. And they are terrified to face this truth. And this is exactly why most people live mediocre lives, because they don't even know who they truly are. And you can only find this out by spending an abundance of time by yourself. There is a reason why there are 36 seats on a bus and only 2 on a Lambo. There's a reason why there are tens of thousands of people in the crowd and only 1 performing. While the world sees this, nobody sees this. If you want to achieve anything special in life, you have to be willing to be an outlier. And this is where you truly step into your unique self. And I'm going to show you how in the next episode.
Okay, I really like what he's talking about here. I agree with it. I think as long as you're not hurting anyone, messing with anyone, you should focus on yourself, focus on what you find important, and don't look too much to the sides and think of what is everyone else doing. I want to be part of a group. Individual is always where you want to be at, and thinking independently and just being okay with questioning everything and holding what is important close to you. So let's go on to the next one.
This is a map that is downloaded in every autopilot computer on every airplane that has autopilot. This is the map that it uses. The only proof you guys have for round Earth, the globe, is NASA. No information you have ever received has come from anywhere but NASA. NASA in Hebrew means to deceive. This is Antarctica. If you do measurements for distances on how long flights are on this map, are identical to flight times that you look up on the internet. Do your research. It's not a globe. God said so.
There you go. We got some great content on TikTok. People getting out there, putting out the good info.
Do y'all remember this? When I saw this up at my house, right? And I was like, wow, what is a trip? What the heck is that? But now that I know the firmament's real, I mean, doesn't it look like it's just scraping against of it and they never got out? Like, what is that thing doing over there? Everyone's like, oh, that's totally normal. That's just the auxiliary booster thrusters, some bullshit. Like, what is it doing? Come off it. How come we haven't seen this again? Like, look at that. What is it doing? Totally normal, right? As soon as you bring it up, everyone's like, you're such an idiot. I can't believe this. People like you need to get the frick off the earth. Like, look,
So
what's
I
it
wasn't
doing?
really-
It's scraping against the freaking top of the firmament. Come off it. We all know your tricks now. Look at it. They couldn't break through.
So I didn't, last time I showed this video, I didn't want to speculate, but I love listening to people speculate about it because it does look very strange. Let's go on to the next one.
Okay, so I got a really cool declassified CIA document about consciousness and remote viewing and shit. It's called Analysis and Assessment of Gateway Process. There's the link, CIA.gov, and there's the other half. Like the title says, this is an analysis of something called the gateway process. The gateway process is essentially a method to condition or auto-hypnotize yourself into entering altered states of consciousness at will. Altered states of consciousness are real, they're measurable and repeatable. And teachable, actually. And in these states of consciousness, numbered 1 through 21, not some like samadhi state bullshit, the agent realized that the non-local acquisition of information is possible. So that means like remote viewing and astral projection, essentially. What makes it even more crazy is that this agent went out of his way to create a new standard model of the universe to explain his findings, and a biomedical model. You know, on like one of the last pages, he tells people who gave the assignment to be intellectually prepared to react to possible encounters with intelligent non-corporeal energy forms when time-space boundaries are exceeded. What?
Yeah. I found that kind of interesting. He talks about, here's the thing. For me, I know that they're lying to us about a lot of things, but one of the things that they're keeping from us is how valuable and how important we are, and also what we're capable of doing. So when he talks about things that you're able to do with your body that the CIA is declassifying, I go like, yeah, I know that they know stuff about this. So I know there's something to it. I just don't know specifically what to think about this, especially when he talks about space-time. So
Bill Nye here for Head and Shoulders with some dazzling dandruff details. Now I know what you're saying. You're saying this is one stylish lab coat. Well, thank you. But there was a time when young Bill Nye would have been very reluctant to wear black. Wouldn't you, young me? Handsome, wasn't he? Bill Nye is one of the 50% of people who has the D of doom, dandruff. In fact, I keep this photo of my very first bottle of Head and Shoulders to remind me what life was like, BHS, before Head and Shoulders. So please consider the following: the dandruff triangle. At the top corner is you, or me. Over here is the oil in your skin. Look closely. And in this corner is the old Malassezia glabassa fungus. Oh yes, it's a fungus. It takes in oil from your skin and makes your scalp shed its cells like crazy. That's dandruff. I'm not a fan. Head and Shoulders has little emulsified droplets that are just the right size to get into the scalp surface and fights it off. It's science!
okay, this is the biggest clown ever. He's doing a dandruff Head and Shoulders commercial, and I don't know. I can't believe people trust this guy. And at the end, he ends with saying it's science. Like, this is everything that I hate. This is exactly what I'm against. And it's frustrating when they just put it into commercials. Let's go into the next one.
Any communication, I think, will be mostly from them to us, because they will have very little to learn from us and probably an enormous amount to teach us, not just in areas of science, but in other areas, some of which we can only dimly guess at today. I don't share George Wald's fears that such a contact would be a disaster. I think rather it's a supreme opportunity to learn something.
Look at this guy with the globe in the back. Okay, I don't know what planet or whatever they say that is, and the stars in the back. This was 67. He's already talking about contacts with aliens and they haven't even gone to. Oh my gosh. All right, let's go on to the last one. This is ending on a really good note. I saw this a while back. I had to find this one. Let me know what you think about this.
There was a Chinese farmer who lost a horse, ran away. And all the neighbors came around that evening and said, "That's too bad." And he said, "Maybe." The next day, the horse came back and brought 7 wild horses with it. And all the neighbors came around and said, "Why, that's great, isn't it?" And he said, "Maybe." The next day, his son was attempting to tame one of these horses and was riding it and was thrown and broke his leg. And all the neighbors came round in the evening and said, "Well, that's too bad, isn't it?" And the farmer said, "Maybe." And the next day, the conscription officers came around looking for people for the army, and they rejected his son because he had a broken leg. And all the neighbors came round at the evening and said, "Isn't that wonderful?" And he said, "Maybe."
Yes, this is what it's all about. I feel like these are the stories that we need to pass down to our children. These are the kind of stories that just don't leave you with, just leave you with an amazing message. And that message is that we shouldn't be the arbiters of whether things are good or bad. Things are going to happen, and it's not whether it's good or bad. It's things are going to happen, and they're going to happen according to the plan. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you found these interesting. I will try to keep my commentary to more of a minimum. I'm going to go back to our amazing music.
Bro, don't you even know half the things the ball makes claims to?
Have a good one, you guys. I'm going to put some memes up.
For you.
See you next time.
Anyway, bro, can't you even see? You've broken it down oh so clearly. It's a joke, it always has been. For those who see, anyway. Don't follow the agenda. Put your logic in a blender. Or you'll end up just like Brenda, forgetting your actual gender. Think your dog bones are clocks, and that people are rocks. Stuck in our closet, mental box. This space side will pry on cocks. Just learn the essence, the basics. Without that, you won't make it. Your freedom is right there, take it. You don't have to fake it. Just say, "I don't know," and your wisdom will grow. Don't blindly go with the flow. Just put it down, bro. Let the lie go.
Any evidence?
I thought you were about debate. I thought you were about fair debates.
I was asking you.